Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on King John, and today we get to hear from Chatillion in Act 1, Scene 2, as it is known in the folio, or Act 2, Scene 1, as it is known in many other publications of this particular script. So at the beginning of the scene, we had the King of France presented the Duke of Austria to Arthur and said, can you forgive him for killing your uncle, the King Richard, because he's come here to fight on your behalf. And Arthur forgives him, and Austria's like, yes, yesterday he was like, I will fight for you forever and a day until all of England bows to you, and I believe in your claim to France as well, and you're the rightful king, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. And then everybody gets really worked up, and they're like, yeah, let's go fight a war, let's go fight a war. And then Arthur's mom, Constance, is like, yeah, that's great, but Chatillion was in England, and he was just asking King John if he would give up the throne because Arthur has the better claim to it. So why don't we wait until he comes back, and we'll see what England said, and then maybe we won't have to fight a war. Maybe nobody has to die, because wouldn't that be nice? And then just at that moment, Chatillion enters, and they're like, hey, the perfect timing, you there showing up right exactly now. That's great. Okay, I'm sure you have some stuff to say to us, so we will all take a very deep breath and we will listen to what you have to say. And Chatillion says, then turn your forces from this paltry siege and stir them up against a mightier task. England, impatient of your just demands, hath put himself in arms. The adverse winds, whose leisure I have stayed, have given him time to land his legions all as soon as I. His marches are expedient to this town, his forces strong, his soldiers confident. With him along is come the mother queen, and Ate stirring him to blood and strife, with her niece, the Lady Blanche of Spain. With them, a bastard of the king's deceased, and all the unsettled humors of the land, rash, inconsiderate, fiery voluntaries with ladies' faces and fierce dragon spleens, have sold their fortunes at their native homes, bearing their birthrights proudly on their backs, to make a hazard of new fortunes here. In brief, a braver choice of dauntless spirits than now the English bottoms have wafted o'er did never float upon the swelling tide to do offence and scathe in Christendom. The interruption of their churlish drums cuts off more circumstance. They are at hand to parley or to fight. Therefore prepare. So, first of all, he lets them know that King John's not going to give up the throne that easily. He's coming to fight a war, and he mustered his armies so fast that the armies got to France at the same time that Chatillion, the messenger, got to France. And beyond that, apparently this is the most terrifying army that has ever been put together in the history of armies being assembled to go and beat up a country. So he's terrified. He's like, everybody who ever had a bone to pick with anything has given it all up to come to France and fight for King John. And they're here. They're like right outside right now. You hear those drums? They're here. So do we want to try to talk this out, or should we just straight go to war? What do you think? And the King of France is like, that was unexpected. And everybody else in the room is sort of like, yeah, that was unexpected. Well, let's let King John in and see what he has to say. And then tomorrow we get into the conversation between King John and the King of France to see, I don't know, maybe they could use their words. What do you think? A couple of kings from England and France being able to use their words to sort things out in a Shakespearean play? You think that's a thing? I don't know. We'll see more tomorrow. Mwah.